Having led data transformations at global firms, I've seen the same pattern again and again. There's this huge, expensive disconnect between the money we pour into data and the actual business impact we get out of it. It's a massive challenge that's costing companies a fortune with very little to show for it.
We've all invested heavily, right? We've got the cloud platforms, the best-in-class visualization tools, and we've hired brilliant data scientists. And yet, that promise of becoming a truly data-driven organization, one that actually acts on its insights, it feels just out of reach for so many. The ROI simply isn't there.
So why is that? Well, the problem isn't the technology, it's not even the quality of the data most of the time. The real issue is a fundamental flaw in our approach, and the kinds of questions we're even asking our data teams to answer in the first place. Let's really dig into this. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the dashboard dilemma. Then, we'll diagnose why most analytics fail. After that, we'll talk about the shift to what I call decision products, how to design for action, and finally, what it means to lead in this new data-driven future. For the last 20 years or so, business intelligence has been our main tool for data strategy, and it has soaked up enormous investment. We're talking data lakes, warehouses, powerful platforms, and of course, entire teams of people to build and run it all. But here's the catch. Despite all that spending, most of these dashboards are really just used in meetings to look back at what happened. They're artifacts for observation. They weren't built to trigger real-time, meaningful action out there on the front lines of the business where it actually counts. In my experience leading these kinds of transformations, I've seen this failure boil down to 3 recurring structural problems. And look, this isn't about blaming the tools or the teams, it's about really understanding the deep-seated flaws in the system we've all built. First off, we are drowning our decision makers in data. I mean, think about it. A dashboard with 20, 30, even 50 KPIs on it. It's not creating clarity, it's just creating noise. The human brain can't process all those signals at once and come up with a clear action. So what happens? Nothing. Inaction. Second, our metrics are almost always looking in the rear-view mirror. Knowing last quarter's revenue or the monthly churn rate, well, that's just reporting. It tells you what already happened. It gives you absolutely no leverage for what your team should be doing right now, this afternoon, to change this quarter's outcome. And finally, our analytics exist in a totally separate world from our operational systems. The dashboard is open in one browser tab, but the actual work, the stuff happening in the CRM, the supply chain platform, the marketing tools, that's all in another tab. This creates a huge gap, a chasm, between getting an insight and actually doing something about it. All right, so the solution here requires a complete strategic reframe. We have to move away from the old passive model of BI and embrace something new, something dynamic and build for action. And that's called decision intelligence. We need to stop thinking about building visualizations and start engineering what are called decision products. This is a profound shift. The goal is no longer just to display information. The goal is to trigger or guide a specific, concrete business decision. This chart really lays out the pivot. With traditional business intelligence, the whole point is to observe. The key question is, what happened? And the output is a report. But with decision products, the objective is to act. The question becomes, what should we do now? And the output isn't a chart, it's a direct recommendation or even an automated trigger. And this isn't some far-off theory. It's really the next logical step in the evolution of any company's data capability. We went from basic reporting to BI that could explain trends to advanced analytics that could predict the future. The final, crucial step is to use that foresight to actually enable and automate our day-to-day operational decisions. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do we make this real? How do we move from theory to execution on the ground? Let's walk through a couple of concrete examples of turning those old passive metrics into something truly actionable. Let's take e-commerce. Instead of just tracking a high-level metric like conversion rate, a decision product finds the specific products where customer demand is about to completely outstrip your supply. The output isn't a line on a chart. It's an immediate, actionable trigger to your supply chain team to replenish inventory or for your pricing team to make an adjustment.
Or how about customer retention? We need to move beyond a lagging indicator like the monthly churn rate. A decision product uses a predictive model to flag individual customers who have a high probability of churning right now. That immediately prompts a proactive retention campaign or gets a priority alert to your customer success team. It's proactive, not reactive.
To do this, you have to completely flip the design process on its head. You don't start by asking, what KPI should we track? You start by asking, what is the exact business decision we need to make better? Then, you work backward from there to design a highly focused, contextual, and automated product that plugs directly into that operational workflow. Now, this whole strategic shift is getting a massive boost from artificial intelligence. But AI's incredible power is only really unlocked when it's focused on driving action, not just generating another layer of analysis.
Think about it. AI and machine learning are amazing at finding those weak signals and predicting what's going to happen next. But if those predictions aren't directly wired into an operational decision workflow, they're just interesting academic exercises. The real value gets created in that connection, not in the prediction itself.
The future of competitive advantage isn't going to be about who has the most data or the fanciest dashboards. It will be won by the organizations that build the shortest, most efficient path from data to an executed decision. As leaders, our legacy won't be defined by the reports we commission. It'll be defined by the decision capabilities we weave into the very fabric of our companies. So the question you have to ask yourself is this: are you building tools for observation, or are you engineering for action?